Los, Bewegung! Sichern Sie das Gebäude! Die Flagge hissen!
The capture of Belgrade stands as one of the purest demonstrations of a principle that military history validates repeatedly. In moments of chaos, the side that acts with the greatest apparent certainty wins the information war, and the information war often decides everything else. 7 men did not defeat Belgrade's defenders. They defeated Belgrade's uncertainty. The city had 250,000 people, and no idea what was happening. Klingenberg had 6 soldiers, and complete clarity about what he wanted to do next. Clarity beat numbers. It almost always does. Subscribe and like for more good content like this. Fritz Klingenberg survived Belgrade by 4 years. He was killed in action near Herxheim, Germany on March 22, 1945, 6 weeks before the end of the war in Europe. He was 33 years old. Belgrade itself suffered enormously under subsequent German occupation. The city that surrendered to avoid further bombing endured years of brutal Axis control before Yugoslav partisan forces and the Soviet Red Army liberated it in October 1944. Klingenberg's success was not luck. It was the product of several converging factors. Information collapse. Belgrade's defenders had no reliable intelligence about where German forces were. In the absence of information, Klingenberg's confident behavior became the most credible data point available. Authority vacuum. The Yugoslav government had fled. Military command had dissolved. There was nobody with the authority or the information to call Klingenberg's bluff, and no military force intact enough to test it. 6 days of bombing. The Luftwaffe had already done the psychological work. A population that had endured nearly a week of aerial bombardment was not looking for reasons to keep fighting. They were looking for reasons to stop. Speed. Klingenberg moved faster than the situation could stabilize against him. Every hour he waited was an hour for someone to count his men, make a phone call, or find a functioning military unit. Theatrical confidence. This is underrated as a military asset. Humans read confidence as evidence of capability. 7 men behaving like the vanguard of 1,000 are processed differently than 7 men who look like what they are. On April 6, 1941, Germany launched a coordinated invasion of Yugoslavia and Greece simultaneously. The Luftwaffe opened by bombing Belgrade without a declaration of war, killing an estimated 17,000 civilians in the first 2 days alone. Hitler called the operation Unternehmen Strafgericht, Operation Punishment, a deliberate act of vengeance after Yugoslavia's government refused to join the Axis. The Yugoslav army, under-equipped and politically fractured, collapsed with startling speed. By April 10th, German armored columns were slicing through the country from multiple directions. The government fled. Military coordination disintegrated. Into this chaos rode a 29-year-old SS Hauptsturmführer named Fritz Klingenberg. Rather than concealing themselves, Klingenberg did the opposite. The 7 men commandeered a vehicle, drove into the city center, and behaved with absolute, theatrical confidence, as though they were the advance element of an overwhelming force that was minutes behind them. The psychological calculation was sound. Belgrade had been bombed for 6 days. The government had fled. Yugoslav military command had effectively dissolved. The civilian population was terrified and demoralized. Nobody in the city had a clear picture of where German forces actually were. Into that vacuum of information and authority walked 7 men, acting like conquerors. When they encountered small groups of Yugoslav soldiers, Klingenberg demanded surrender. The soldiers, demoralized, leaderless, and confronted by what appeared to be the confident vanguard of a massive German assault, complied.